Donald Cerrone versus Anthony Pettis is a matchup of two fan favorites. Now, I almost want to go so far as to say two legends, right? They may be stretching it a little bit. I think people overuse that word. But man, these guys, if they're not there, they're right on the cusp, right? I mean, you've got Donald Cerrone, who fought most fights ever in the UFC, most wins ever. I mean, this dude is a maniac. I mean, think about it. He's got this fight coming up May 9th against Anthony Pettis. He wants to fight May 13th and May 16th. He said that, and he's not joking. Like, think of how crazy you got to be. And then you've got Anthony Pettis, right? The most famous kick ever in MMA with that Showtime kick that he landed off Benson Henderson coming off the cage, okay? Along with a bunch of other slick things he has. But what really stands out is still to this day, Anthony Pettis is the only guy, the only fighter to be featured on a Wheaties box. I mean, the man made a Wheaties box. That puts you in the category of like Michael Jordan, Kobe, right? Absolute legends of the game. He was on a Wheaties box. So when you look at these two guys matching up, and it's a rematch, by the way, okay? They met about 6.5, 7 years ago, back in like 2013. But when you see these two guys meeting up at this point in their career, this is two fan favorites, right? So right off the top of my head, when I heard this fight get announced, I started to immediately think about it before I did any real like hardcore analyzing. And the first thing I thought about is, well, this is a rematch. So you think about how the first one went, okay? So this was before Donald Cerrone was Cowboy, before Anthony Pettis had won the belt, when he was still on his rise up, and Pettis landed it early. He landed that patented left kick, caught Cowboy like right on the liver, buckled him, and then finished him. Okay, so you think of that right away. And you're thinking, well, could that repeat? Sure, I mean, possibly it could. But that's not what I put my money on. You know, and you start to think about a few different things, right? Like, number one, this fight's at 170 pounds, not 155. Okay, Donald Cerrone's the naturally bigger man, and he's seen much more success at 170. Okay, that's going to play a huge factor. He's the naturally bigger guy. He's probably the naturally stronger guy. He's fought bigger guys. He's fought more bigger guys, and he's had more success against them. So that's going to be one thing right there. Number two, I think right away, is Cerrone's got the wrestling. Like, he's when he wants to use his wrestling, and he's very strategic with it. He doesn't use it very frequently, but he's very strategic with it. But when he decides to mix it in, he uses it really well. He's pretty good on the ground. Yeah, everyone knows him for his submissions, but he's also pretty good on top. He can handle himself in scrambles. He knows how to ride and stay on top and things like that. And Pettis has got some submissions off his back, but I don't think he's catching Cowboy. You know. And then I think about how Pettis is a sniper. You know, Pettis is a sniper, man. And the thing is, Cowboy has to move, he's got to move forward. And he's got to dictate the pace of the fight to really kind of like get into his groove and start to do some damage. And if you let him do that, I mean, good luck, right? I mean, he's going to beat way more people than he isn't. If he gets into that groove, he can start moving forward and do his thing. But if you can back him up, which is actually what Pettis did in that first fight when he landed that kick, if you can back him up, it nullifies a lot of his game. He's not a counter striker, and he doesn't fight good off the back foot. But that's really not Pettis' game at this point. If you look at all of Pettis' fights recently, a lot of them, he plays the counter striker. He backs up. He lets guys get him up against the cage. He'll circle around on the outside. He'll play the role of the sniper with his counter punching. It's one of the problems that he doesn't throw enough combos. So, you know, these are all just things that I'm initially bouncing around in my head thinking about a fight like this. Because, man, it's going to be awesome, right? I think seeing two guys like this, get them up, it's gonna be great. So I'm really looking forward to really getting in there and breaking it down. Those are a few just initial thoughts with the fight coming up. But when I saw that this one was actually confirmed, 100% added on the card, I was like, man, Dana White is doing it big, because this is going to be a fight that, you know, a lot of people are looking forward to seeing, myself included. So can't wait to see how this one turns out. The only downside is, man, the guy who loses this fight is not going to be in a good spot, you know. And it's a big name guy. I'm a fan of both of them. And to see one of them lose at this point with where each one is currently at in his career, it's not going to be good. So, got to be a winner, got to be a loser. I mean, hey, that's the way the game goes. But nevertheless, really looking forward to this fight. Can't wait to see it.